Welcome everyone! On this channel we talk about the beautiful and complicated life of nomads. So let's begin! Hi everyone! For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Elena and I'm the host here. I was born in Serbia, lived in France for 16 years and now live in the UK. I've been here for just over 7 years. I speak 4 different languages and I've worked as a flight attendant for 10 years. Most of the people that I know have lived abroad at some point in their lives, so there's something that I really love talking about. And today I'll be showing you what to take on board with you when traveling with kids. So let's see it. This is the trunky that we take when we travel with kids, but any backpack or small suitcase works as well. So first we have an activity book. This is a travel activity book, which is wipe clean. They're great because you can use them over and over again. But any activity books work. You can also buy them at the airport. Generally, with the same idea, now we have a sticker book, which is great for younger children. So you have lots of different stickers that you can help them put on the pages, or they can just play with them by themselves. I always take some extra stickers so that are random. We have this one with the numbers where you can just help them do some maths as well, and just white paper. So you can have a notebook, but we just take white paper because then they can create whatever they like by themselves. Next we have small stamps. So these are tiny, they don't take much space at all, they are very light, and we just take a few at a time and they just play with them. They can create along with the stickers, so these go very nicely at the bottom of the trunky. And then some pens, so you don't have to take a whole collection of different colors. Here we have just 5 different colors, and that's plenty for the kids for the flight or the trip. Again, they fit nicely underneath and they can do different drawings, and they're just really good to have. One thing that we always travel with is Play-Doh. So these are big pots, but I recommend taking small pots just because some airports might be a bit funny about the size and about and security. So I would recommend smaller pots. I just didn't have any. Also very careful when you're using Play-Doh on board. Make sure to put them back in the box straight away when they finish playing, because it does dry quicker on an airplane because the air is drier. So I'm just showing here a little thing that we do, and this is just 15-20 minutes of endless fun with the kids. This is just one of the Play-Doh. I don't know if you have any Play-Doh toys, but most of them do this type of thing. And we just take plastic scissors and just play with them, and you create something and they just cut it, and it's endless fun, especially when they're about 2 or 3 years old. So just demonstrating that for you guys. So yeah, we also have little cutters. You see the star and the heart cutter, and then scissors. Obviously you can't take metal scissors, but plastic scissors are absolutely fine. So again, they can cut Play-Doh, they can cut that paper and create. So we definitely always take those. Play-Doh is just great fun for any age, and you can do lots of different games with it as well. If your children are into role play with different toys, we also have little toys. So you can take, we take little dinosaurs, you can take small cars or any sort of that, especially if you have 2 or 3 children you're traveling with. They can just play by themselves as well with these. But then family games, sorry about the state of the packs of cards, but we do use them a lot. So we have top trumps here, pass the bets, which are great from sort of 3 onwards, but even smaller if you explain to them. And then again, for smaller kids, we have Uno. This is a Paw Patrol Uno. Again, we lost the box because we played it so much, and I really recommend this game. It's a great game to play in family, or if you have slightly older children, they can play it by themselves as well. Next thing is mini chessboard or any sort of other games that you can take. My older one likes playing chess, so we take that. These are magnets actually, so great for great to play on board. They just stick to the board. So this is not a tablet, this is just a drawing pad, which you can reset. So if you have all children, they can do some maths on it, you can draw, you can play Pictionary. So very handy to have, and again, endless fun. So that will definitely keep them entertained for a bit. And then books. So the smaller the better. I always say that for traveling, because then you can take a lot of different things. These are Thomas collections. We have the full collection, but I always select 4 or 5 different ones. And then for all the children, if they can read by themselves, do take a book for them to read and have some quiet time. So we're definitely backing those. They're great for landing, so when you can't have the tablet down, that's what we do. And then snacks, of course, snacks. Always take a lot of snacks to eat. So we have some crisps, different age, different type of crisps. Some fruit, so always start by eating the fresh things first, because obviously they won't keep the whole day. So I just pack 1 apple because our 3-year-old likes them cut, and we can't cut it on board, and doesn't keep. So I'm taking some grapes for him, which are always cut in half or smaller pieces. So make sure to do that. You don't want any accidents on board. I wouldn't recommend taking any nuts. So here we have also, some cheese. Again, fresh things, eat them first, because you don't want to eat them after a 2 or 3 hours journey. Don't want to get a tummy ache when you get on holiday. Some fruit, so dry fruit loops. Kids love these, and there is 2 inside, so they can each have 1. And then dried cranberries or raisins, any of that. They are great because you can just they can have 1 at a time, and it will keep them busy. Smarties are with the same idea, a little bit of a treat. Always start with things maybe that they like the least, and go towards the things that they like the most, just to keep them happy all through the flight. I here pack a little camera of theirs, and then their water bottles. So pack them empty, and most of the airports now have facilities for you to fill up the bottles, because otherwise at security they might make you discard that water, and might even throw your bottles away. Speaking of security, you can take liquids that are less than 100 ml and less, sorry. If your little one has a blocked nose or anything, I highly recommend taking some nose spray and maybe some Nurofen, just to help them with landing. So you put those ones on top of your bag, so you can easily access them and get them out for security. And that's it. That's all you will need. And then yes, wet wipes, that's the one that we always forget, but this time I did pack them last minute. And then things that you should have as well, if you can, any sort of electronic devices, keep them with you, because those should be sort of the last things that you can get them to play with. And I always bring a treat for them, some sort of chocolate or sweets to have after the flight, whilst we're waiting at security perhaps, and also just to say well done for being so good. And it's something for them to look forward to at the next flight, and motivates them to be good. And as I said, the tablet or telephone is quite handy, again, for that landing after potentially having a delay, or having been on board for 2 or 3, 4 hours. It's something that is quite handy to have as a last resource, with headphones, just in order not to annoy your neighbors on board. As you saw, I only half packed the trunkie, so there was half a suitcase left of space. That's quite useful, because then you can pack a change of clothes, so even if you're traveling with a baby, because they can get quite messy or vomit or have an accident. So it is always good to have a change of clothes. And then if you have any space, or if you want to take more food, that's always good. Again, for little ones, I recommend pouches, and they will let you take them through security. So here are some things to avoid. As I mentioned before, nuts are a no-no for me. as they are a choking hazard, but also lots of people are allergic to nuts nowadays, and sometimes on board they make an announcement telling you not to consume any nuts, and then you have to explain to your kids why they can't have any even though they love them. So it's just easier to pack something else and use that space differently. Bananas, they are just messy, they don't keep, and they can ruin your things or in your bag. So again, I would always avoid taking those. As you probably know this, any liquids over 100 ml are forbidden. And the exception to this is baby food. So especially if you go through family security, they will still check it, but they will let you take pouches and baby food that are over 100 ml, so you can take those. And then I would say noisy toys as well. You don't want to annoy people around you, and if you're flying for 4, 5, 6 hours, you will get annoyed by those toys, and you know it, so do not take them. And then to end, anything too big or too heavy. You really don't need big things, as you saw in the example here. You can take small things and a lot of them to keep them entertained for the duration of the trip. And don't take anything heavy, because if you end up having a delay and if you end up having a sleepy child at the end of the trip, you will have to carry them and you will have to carry the bag, and you don't want things that are too heavy. So that would be my last tip. Thanks for watching. I hope you have great family trips. Do me a favor and like this video, and please hit that subscribe button. See you all soon.